Right, welcome back to another episode of the Average Joe's podcast. I am your host, George, with co-host Harrison Roberts. And today we have a special guest, Billy Rumbol. How are you?
All right, George, yeah. All good. You're
Good
right,
stuff.
Yeah, good, yeah, lovely.
We wanted to get you on the podcast. You had a lot going on recently. So we'll touch on a few of those things. Obviously, we'll touch on how we know each other. So we met 2018.
Yeah, 2018.
Yeah, my friend Luke brought me down here very nervously.
You did, yeah, I remember your first session.
Yeah. Never been in a boxing gym before. Never even thought of the idea of doing boxing. But came down and fell in love with it. I think within a year I'd done a charity fight, and then 18 months I did 2 charity fights, which was good fun. Harry winds me up about that every now and then, do you? Some of the punches I threw are a bit dubious, but yeah, you like to get on to me about that, do you?
Yeah, just a bit.
But no, it's all it was all good fun. But yeah, so I was coming to you all through the pandemic as well.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah, I was
Garden
with you
sessions.
nearly every day.
It was.
30 sessions, I think it was.
Yeah, you done well.
It was good. It was good to keep going through that. But yeah, let's touch on early life for Billy Rumbol. What was that like growing up for you?
Yeah, it was okay. I mean, when my dad sort of run a boxing club, we lived in the Medway towns originally for up until when I was 18. So we was quite well known around the area. That has its pros and cons, obviously. Sometimes you just want to get your head down and do your own thing, but being so well known around the area, sometimes it's hard. My brother went to prison when I was about 11. So I've got an older brother and sister.
Yeah.
Family life was good. I was the baby by 11 years. So my brother's 13 years older than me. My sister's 11 years older. So I was the baby. So I'd done a lot with my mum and dad without the siblings there.
Yeah.
But yeah, it was okay. Like I say, I had its pros and cons. Sometimes you wish you weren't as popular, just so you could get your head down. And obviously when my brother went to prison...
Yeah, what was that like for you at that age with your brother going?
Yeah, it was tough. It was tough, and something I haven't really opened up about, or had anyone to talk to about until very recently when I started undergoing some therapy sessions.
Yeah.
And it sort of explained sometimes my head worked the way it does, and stuff like that. So. Yeah, it was quite hard because it was all over the news.
Yeah.
It went to the Old Bailey, which is a very high court in this country. So it was all across the newspaper, and used to get not bullied, but people saying things.
Yeah, talking about
on the odd occasion and stuff. So yeah, I suppose it was tough. Yeah.
I was going to say, because having that age gap with your brother, you wouldn't necessarily have known how to handle it at that age. Like such a big thing. I mean, I that's the first I knew about it. Being completely honest with you, I didn't even know that was a thing. Even if it was all over the news, it's not something I was aware of. So, being able to process that at a young age must have been pretty difficult.
Yeah, it was, and like I say, at the time I probably didn't realise it was, that difficult or such a big thing until later on in life. And like I say, when I went to the therapy sessions, we dug deep into my background and how things were, and this was one of the subjects that was brought up.
Yeah, and it's crazy how later on in life, things that happened so long ago could still affect you in different ways.
Still affect you.
They can really be a characteristic of you.
Yeah.
So many years down the line, it's crazy what they.
But it's helped me massively as a parent now. Obviously, I've got 2 little boys, one on the way. But the way that you act around the children now, and since I've had the therapy sessions, is so different. What you talk about, how you act, what you tell them, it's helped massively.
Yeah, no, it's good. At least that, and it can help you from a parental perspective as well.
Exactly.
Which is great. Like you've got 2 boys as well.
Yeah.
So he can kind of appreciate that. Relate to that as well. So. So you grew up in the middle of towns, well-known boxing family. What age did you get into boxing?
I was in the boxing gym from about 18 months, 2 years of age. That's all I've ever known, really. There's videos of me back there, and I remember London tonight, because we was back. My brother went pro in London, so we always in and around London gyms, and it was a news channel called London Tonight. They come down and done an episode on me, and it's just all I've known. It's all I've loved it, you know. So
With did that affect you in education, like through school and stuff?
Yeah, I suppose so. Like I was always travelling with boxing and stuff, but the teachers always loved me. You know what I mean? It was one of them ones. Like I never ever got suspended from school.
Yeah.
Never really in any serious trouble. I think I had one fight in my whole time in school, and that was over something silly.
Yeah.
So yeah, I've always been able to sort of like get round. You know, like, the gift of the gab, as they say. Yeah, one of them. So
did you? So, because when you got into boxing, how many amateur and pro fights did you have yourself before getting into coaching?
So I had 34 fights as an amateur. Then I had 2 as a pro. But I actually got into coaching before I turned pro. So I packed up amateurs, done a little bit of coaching, went pro, come back to coaching.
Did you find that coaching was your calling over? Because you obviously like a good boxer. I've come and watched you when you fought. I can't remember the chap's name.
Marty Case.
Marty, yeah. I came and watched you for that, which was a great fight. Do you ever wish you had pursued that further, or are you happy with the route that you took?
I think that's one of the things that affects me now. I know how far or what I could have possibly done as a boxer.
Yeah.
And and this is why I'm so strict on my fighters now.
Yeah.
Because I know what I didn't do, and I just took it like it was nothing, just because I thought I had natural ability. And but yeah, that's what I regret it massively. To this day, like I think about it and I just think what could have been, could have, would have, should have. But listen, it's too late now. I put everything I've got now into my fighters. If my sons want to box, when they grow up, then I'll make sure they do the job right. But it does affect me massively. Yeah.
Yeah, because Rocco's in the gym already.
Rocco's in the gym. Yeah, he's in the gym.
See him throwing hands on the pads.
He's getting there. He'll be 5 in October.
Yeah.
We've got little Reggie, and then we've got another one on the way.
Very similar age to you.
Yeah.
Same. Yeah.
It's I always say that Harry's youngest needs to get himself into a
into a gym.
Well, my partner's dad, Ezra's granddad, he was a boxer when he was like, he only fought at amateur level, like, but he had a few fights and stuff.
Did he?
Yeah, he done alright, so I think he's got it from his granddad. But he'd rather throw hands and talk, let's put it that way.
Where's he from, Medway way? Or?
No, Dartford way.
Dartford?
Well, it's more like London, like under London boroughs.
Yeah.
But yeah, he was like, I think he had a few fights, he won most of them, I think. But
did he? Yeah.
He doesn't really talk much about it, but it's something that obviously, because I've never been in a boxing gym before, so I've never experienced it. But like I was saying to Jules, like when we come up here, like you get that buzz, like you want to fight, like not fight, but like you want to train.
You want to train,
yeah,
it's
definitely.
Good. It's a good environment to be in, and especially like for children now, the way things go in this day and age for discipline and respect.
And stuff,
and it is a great sport. There's loads of good sports out there. Like I've been taking Rocco recently to a bit of taekwondo. That's very good discipline. Like, but I think getting a child into a sport, whatever it is good. You know what I mean?
Definitely.
Yeah, Ezra loves to throw hands.
Yeah, I'd rather do it than talk to anyone,
He's relentless with it, bless him. But I always say that you should get him into a gym. But so it's obviously quite clear that you are like very passionate towards your fighters, and I guess that explains why. So how many pros have you got under your stable now?
Yeah, we've got 3 pros that are actually signed. I've got a couple in the pipeline. But the team's growing nicely.
Yeah.
You know, it's the right number at the moment because it's only me on my own as well.
Yeah.
We get the good sparring in, we get the sessions that we need to get in.
Yeah.
It's just a nice structure at the minute.
And
before I was overdoing it, like I took too much on. I was in the gym like every hour God sends, and it just got too much. And now I've got like getting a better balance anyway.
A bit more of a healthier structure.
Yeah.
Growing up, I'm just going to go back a little bit. Growing up, was you being exposed to? I guess it's not necessarily violence, but it is like it is more of a violent sport. And are you brought up around that? Does that affect you as you grow up? Has it had any effect on you, like growing up?
Do you know what it is? I've always.
I don't know if I've worded that well.
No, I think you're 100% right. But I think for what my brother went to prison for, I I won't go too much into it.
No,
But
that's fine.
he went away for violence.
Yeah.
My dad had a massive court case when I was a child for violence. So I think me being the younger one, I sort of tried to be a little bit nicer about things, and I'd rather have a chat with you
Yeah.
and sort it out. Listen, I know how to. I've been brought up knowing how to put my hands
Yeah.
up, but where I see what it done to members of my family,
Yeah.
I didn't want to go down that route. I don't want to go down that route. Do you know what I mean? So
It would have been quite easy for you to have gone down that
for you
route.
to do it, yeah, exactly.
So that's why I'm trying to sort of understand like why you didn't, and I guess like you're saying that you'd rather use words over violence, but if it came to it, it came to it.
Yeah.
But it's do you think maybe like your mum's had a bit of an influence on that?
Yeah.
What sort of person is your mum? Because I know her through you.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah.
I don't know her on a name to name basis, but I see what you put up of her, and she seems like a very like kind, loving woman. So,
Yeah, I think everyone says it. I think the mums are the rock of the family, aren't they?
Yeah.
And they're the backbone of the family. But I've got, like I say, my sister, my mum, they're very, I suppose, sensible-minded. And I suppose I follow them a little bit as well. Obviously, I've been brought up in a boxing gym. But listen, going to prison or... Listen, it's no life. It's no life. You're stuck behind that door. Your family and friends are out here.
Well, I've seen like first. Obviously, I've been on the right
Of course,
of the
of
right
course.
side of the door.
Yeah.
And I've seen what that does to people, and it's not a nice environment.
not
People
nice.
might say like it's going to Centre Parks, but I can assure you it's not.
Deep down.
Yeah. So yeah, like it's interesting that you could have quite easily taken the wrong path, but
Yeah.
you have stuck on it, and you made a success of yourself, which is it's very admirable. Obviously, talking about using your hands, we'll touch on the video that went viral.
Yeah.
I mean, it went uncontrollably viral.
It did. I think one's like, I don't know, 30 odd million views or something silly like
just
that.
ridiculous.
Yeah.
So you had an altercation with somebody in a leisure centre car park, is it?
Yeah, it was at a national championship event
Yeah.
in the car park, basically.
So, are you able to say like what it was over, or
Do you know what? Really and truly, honestly, it was over nothing. Like, it was over a bit of boxing, as stupid as it is, you know.
Yeah.
And like, it just got out of hand. Obviously, I won't go into too much what happened, but a lot of people seen the video, and it did go viral. But I'm still suspended now by England Boxing, which is the amateur boxing governing body. So it's affected me massively, really, because like I say, it's my life. I've got my pro license, and I still do doing a few shows, but the amateur, I really enjoy the amateurs.
Yeah.
You're travelling the country and seeing some good people. So it has affected me massively, and I still don't know. Like I say, everything's up in the air at the minute. So
did you, when it was obviously happening, did you have sort of anything in the back of your mind telling you like this probably isn't going to end well in terms of the aftermath of this?
do you know what? At the time, I'll be totally honest, I didn't think of anything. No, I didn't think it. Like, everything happened so quickly.
Yeah.
I just didn't think. I didn't think of anything at the time, and then obviously, after it finished, I must have had that was in Guildford. By the time I got back to Kent, I'm not kidding you, I probably had like 150 phone calls, probably off every travelling man that I've ever met, and it just went crazy. Yeah, crazy, to the point that I had to change my number. I come off social media for about 6 weeks.
Yeah.
I'm not saying I went therapy solely because
No.
of that, but it was the icing on the cake, if you
Yeah.
like, and things just went out of hand.
What has it done to you mentally? Because knowing you and knowing your passion for the sport, I mean, that's like taking a lot away from you.
Yeah, I think more than anything, I mean, I'm still very much involved in boxing. Obviously, I'm in the gym. You see me training the kids tonight. I'm still got the pros. Like I say, I've got a couple of shows coming up, so I've got the shop. I'm still heavily involved in boxing, but more importantly, it was my family that I was. You know what I mean? I've got 2 little boys there. I've got a wife. My wife's never said a bad word to anyone. She's so quiet.
Yeah.
She's so, do you know what I mean? She's timid. We're just family people, and the last thing I wanted to do is bring trouble home, which with something that wasn't really even my doing. Do you know what I mean? And it was just like, I just thought the only thing I could think about really was my family. You know, there's ways round the boxing. You know, I'm not going to get a lifetime ban, I'm sure. So eventually there'll be light at the end of the tunnel. But just bringing anything bad towards my family, like my 2 little boys and my wife, that's what cut me up more than anything. Do you know what I mean? You know, like that I didn't want to do that because it's not the type of person I am.
No, I guess because like you know, you are a very proud man. You pride yourself on what you do, the reputation that you've built, the reputation that you are still building. So, you know, everybody who knows you knows that, you know, that was out of character for that to have happened. I guess you probably were just defending your name at the time.
Yeah, like I say, like it's one of them things. Like I've been brought up since a kid to be able to put my hands up, you know, and although it's been in the ring and stuff, but you can't let people take liberties out of you. At the end of the day, like whether win, lose or draw, your pride, sometimes you have to do it. Do you know what I mean? And I suppose I have been underestimated by a lot of people because I am so kind. And like I said earlier, I'd rather talk to you. I'd rather be friends with everyone. But yeah, like it was just like the wrong place, the wrong time, over nothing. Do you know what I mean? Over nothing, and that was the thing that was the shame about it. Yeah.
So that sort of like time where you come off social media, you change your number. What's sort of like going through your head in that time? Like obviously you're saying that, you know, you're more annoyed that, you know, you brought it home. You're more disappointed for your family, but for you, did you take time out of the gym completely? Did you?
Yeah. I took time out of the gym. I just didn't know what the next move was like at the time. It felt like everything just come crumbling down. I didn't know whether I was going to carry on with boxing, whether I was just going to go totally different route. I just really didn't know. Like I just didn't have a clue. Because like I say, it's been such a big part of my life, and then it was just pulled away from me, and it was just devastating. Do you know what I mean? It was devastating. So I just didn't know what I was going to do.
Yeah,
didn't know.
We spoke before about things to do with mental health, and we used the pandemic as an example because a lot of men we find, and we have found through doing these episodes, that men tend to bury their head in work to avoid really what's going on in their head. And when the pandemic hit and everything come crashing, like everything just stopped, we stopped, and everything that we'd been running away from caught up with us.
Yeah.
Did you find that in that time where it all came to a standstill, that's where everything caught up with you?
Yeah, it did. I think the pandemic was like a big thing to do with it. But the thing is with me, like I've always tried to be happy and try to let things go over my head and blah blah blah.
Positive,
but I was just going back on a bit of what I've done. So I was the youngest ever professional boxing coach at the time. I was 17 when I got that. I've done 2 films. I've done commentating. I've done Master of Ceremonies. I was the youngest estate agent manager within your move, 350 odd branches. I've been a very successful amateur boxing coach. So everything I've ever done, I've always been at the top level, like the top standard.
Yeah.
And that's, in my opinion, a bad thing because I'd done things too young and I was always chasing the next thing, chasing the next thing. And then you come to a point where you're never happy. I'm not happy. I'm not doing good enough.
Yeah.
I've had a bad day. This ain't right. That ain't right. But in reality, when you look back on it and you really think about what you've done, it's amazing. But I've done too much too soon.
Yeah.
And now it's like always, well, that's not good enough because I was doing that then. Or I had that car back then and I got... But now I've been going to the therapy session. I've been seeing a very, very good man, Marcus. And I don't think like that no more.
Yeah.
Listen, money comes, money goes. Some days you're right. But the most important thing to me now is my family. Like, as long as I've got them, I know I'm capable of doing anything. Like I say, anything I've ever done. I've been a wine broker. I've done a bit of tarmacking. I've been an estate agent. I've done everything. Boxing coach. I can get on with anyone, and that's it. Don't bother me no more. I know I can go out there and make a pound note if I've got to make a pound note. But more importantly, my family. If they're safe, they're well. That's all that matters to me. But the thing that really did bring me down, I think, that started to get on top of me was doing too much too soon and not thinking I was good enough. Always chasing the next thing instead of looking back of what you've achieved. You know what I mean? So, but I was really bad. I got to a point where I couldn't get myself out of bed. I got to a really, really bad state, and I did think a couple of times about taking my life, taking my own life, and mad thoughts of fucking...
Intrusive thoughts are, they're scary.
They're scary.
They are scary because it amazes you that your own mind can make you think those things. Terrible, honestly. I was laying in a hotel, this was the day before I had my first therapy session. I was laying in a hotel room. I sort of run away for a couple of days, and I pulled, tired saying, bad things was going through my head, and I just had to stop, and I thought, my kids, my family, what am I doing? Do you know what I mean? And that's when, like I say, the next day, Zoe got in touch with the people at therapy, and that's when I went to him, and it was a godsend. I spent 3 weeks away from Zoe and the kids. I lived on my own. My mum and dad was on holiday. Zoe and the kids was at home. I stayed at my mum and dad's house, and I had 3 weeks on my own. I was out at the gym. I was running this business through Instagram. Zoe was in the shop. I was answering all the messages, but I had 3 weeks on my own, and going to the therapy in between, and it helped me massively because he just explained the way the brain works, and there's different parts of the brain, and what part of the brain does what, and why you're thinking that, and just dug deep into my background of life, and it was unbelievable. But one thing I will say, because Zoe told me for about 18 months or so that I needed to go and see someone, and I let it go. I have a good day, I have a bad day, I'll have a good couple of days, bad day, count my money at the end of the week and think, oh fuck, it's all right, you know what I mean? But it weren't no good, and she kept telling me, and but I would say to anybody who's struggling or who's ever had them thoughts, just go and speak to him. It's just a chat. You just have a chat, but you can open up to him. It's someone different, and it done me the world of good. I feel like a different person now. That's good. Yeah, it's really sad to hear that you were so close.
I was, honestly, a couple of times.
It really is, because I remember a couple of times, feeling quite down, and I remember one time I'd put something on my Instagram. I think within 5 minutes you phoned me. Just phoned me to say how I was.
Yeah.
And it's really upsetting to know that you were going through that, and probably not many people knew.
No, they don't. And do you know what? No one. I've never really told anyone about what I just told you there, but this is what this is about.
Yeah.
People are going to look at it, and there's loads of people out there that are not happy, and they have a good day, they have a bad day, but they have more bad days than good days, and they're frightened to talk and this, that, but don't be. Do you know what I mean? Because like he said the other day, the MMA fighter Paddy, was great what he said. Do you know what I mean?
Look, using his platform.
You got to talk.
We had some controversy with that video, didn't we? Because we saw it on Instagram and I commented on it. I just commented on it something. Basically, I'd read through the comments, and there was a lot of women in there just saying that he shouldn't be saying that because he's not talking about this or X, Y, and Z. And I put a comment on there, and the abuse, wasn't it, that we got as a man. I literally just put something like, because they were trying to make it then about domestic violence. Some woman had put on there saying maybe if men got their mental health sorted, they stop abusing women and stuff like that. And this wasn't the time or the place for that conversation. They're separate issues.
Of course.
And for Paddy Pimblett to use his platform for such a powerful message, especially in this day and age, was an amazing thing. And I just put on there this is a man, this is a men's time to speak, something like that. And I just got floods of abuse, from women just cutting in on us. But you know, I just left that to it. But you know, I think you said, didn't you, the other day? They'd said that there was a rise in men seeking help after that.
Yeah, there was a massive spike in men seeking help.
Seeking help, yeah. Well, the amount of messages that I've had off of people asking me what therapy I went to, what's it called, what's the number, what's the details.
Yeah.
So that, you know, it's already getting people out there.
Yeah.
And I think it's great to do it because I 18 months ago, if you'd have told me to go and see someone, like I said, Zoe was telling me to.
Yeah.
I was brushing it under the carpet, but don't, because
Yeah.
it'll only get it only gets worse and it gets older. And I'm quite a positive person.
Yeah.
You know, I am a positive person, but in the end, it just it
Gets
got
too
hold of
much.
me. Yeah, it
Gets
did.
too
It
much.
did. Honestly, it did. And life's tough now, isn't it? You know what I
Yeah.
mean? It is tough. You know, you got all this stuff going on around the world, and cost
Yeah.
of living's fucking sky high. It's tough for people.
It
It's
is
tough for people.
100%. It's tough for people, and yeah, like there's not. You know, you turn the news on. There's not a lot to be positive
It's
about.
doom and gloom. I was talking about it to the boys. We was going sparring the other day, and I'm like I'm one to watch the news.
Yeah.
I just have to. Do you know what I mean? One of them things. But you watch the news, and sometimes you don't feel like getting out of bed anymore.
No,
do you? You know
it
what I
is
mean?
scary. It's almost sometimes it does make you think, like, what's the point?
What's the point? Yeah.
What is the point? That's but it's just about keeping going and whatnot. But I think like where that topic was obviously just leading is a perfect way to. Well, it's not a perfect way because it's not a nice conversation to have. But obviously we did. I say you and Martin especially lost someone like very close to you to suicide not so long ago. Obviously I did know Connor in the gym. Just completely like shocked. I remember like when you and Martin said about it, I just didn't want to believe it.
Crazy. Like spoke to him the night before he done it, and he messaged me. I won't tell you what he messaged
No,
me
that's
or
fine.
what he said. His parents are aware of this anyway.
Yeah.
But then the next day I was just out doing it was in lockdown, just doing out doing a bit of stuff on my house, and Martin rang me and told me what Connor done, and it was unbelievable. Do you mean like me and Connor? I only knew Connor through Martin. Martin and Connor was best mates, but me and Connor become very close. Like he'd come round if I ever had anyone around the house, he was round, or boxing shows or horse race, like whatever, and he used to ring me off. We used to like a bet. Like I love an horse bet, nothing silly, but I do like a bet. And he used to ring me up, so like just general chit chat, but lovely person. And I'm not just saying this because people say it, but you met him, life and soul of the party.
100%.
No, like life and soul of the party. If you had a party, Conor Russell was coming because it was funny. You know, he was good character.
Yeah.
And totally, like. I just so shocked, so shocked.
What and you know we don't want to speak for him, but what did that do to Martin? Because they were so close.
Yeah, Martin's he doesn't. He's got no emotion, is he, Martin? But it killed Martin.
Did you see a change?
Yeah, it changed him. Like, and he was emotional. Him and Connor was very close, very close for years, you know, through their school years, and Connor was always at Martin's fights.
Yeah.
It destroyed Martin.
Yeah.
It was,
You can see he was obviously very loyal to Martin. He was at like every fight.
Every fight. Apart from once, and the only time he was in Dublin on holiday.
Yeah.
But he still bought his Team Madonna
Yeah,
t-shirt.
I know. I remember seeing the photo. Yeah.
That was the only fight, to my memory, that he missed, but still supporting him.
Yeah.
So.
No, he was a real character.
Yeah, he was.
He was a real character, and I remember him on the charity shows fighting another one of his close friends.
Frankie Lee,
Frankie, it's
and he was just getting ready to box on one of the other ones. That's where the song come from. He had it. Let's get down to business.
Yeah.
And he sent it to me. He said, "Bill, I found me ring entrance for the let's get down to business." And I told his mum and dad that because no one knew that, not even Martin, and that's why he ended up having that song at his funeral, because that was going to be one of his ring entrances, you know.
It's it's scary what people can be going through without knowing.
Yeah.
Speak to him the day before.
When it's someone like Connor as well, such a character, you never ever thought he would do that.
No.
Never in a million years.
I'm sure this left a hole in the gym.
Yeah, do you know, like, even I say to Zoe now, we'd just be driving along, and genuinely I just say, like, I still can't believe it. I still can't believe it to this day. And you don't ever get over it, do you? You never get over something like that. But I think in the end, you just have to learn to live with it.
Yeah.
And I think that's the case now. Like, he's not around anymore. But even when you have house parties or go out to an event, and he's not there, it's a massive hole left in the crowd because he was such a character. Do you know what I mean? He is missed.
Do you still speak to his family?
Do you know what? I spoke to his dad a couple of times, like through text and stuff like that. I saw his uncle on Saturday actually, so just bits and pieces, But it's just a shame. But I'll be totally honest with you. The first time I ever met Connor's mum and dad was at his funeral.
Really?
But what happened was when Connor passed away, I obviously sent my condolences, sent his dad a text.
Yeah, of course.
Then his dad text me back saying how much Connor thought of me.
Yeah.
And that's why, because in COVID, there was only 30 people allowed to the funeral.
Yeah.
And I was one of them. But I only got to know Connor's mum and dad when it happened, because
it's a shame, isn't it, that something has to happen, and I'm sure you probably got on with them like really well.
They're lovely people,
Yeah.
He's got 2 brothers, Jacob and Todd. He's got a sister, but they said that Connor always used to talk about me, and that's the reason they wanted me at the funeral, because I was such a big part of Connor's life.
Yeah.
Which was lovely to hear,
How did that make you feel to find that out?
It was lovely to hear,
bittersweet?
but I just wish, and everyone says it, but I just wish he would have told me something was on his mind.
Yeah.
He got a new girlfriend at the time, and she fell pregnant. And he used to send me voice notes and saying, this, that, but just relationship stuff.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, I just thought, and I used to say, don't worry about it. Just general chat, but never did I think to the point where he would do that.
Yeah. Never. It really is. It's hard, especially do you know what? Obviously, I knew Connor. Didn't know him really well, but I knew him enough that I knew of the influence he was. But I just remember afterwards, thinking of especially Martin. I always had Martin on the mind, just saying, I hope he's okay. Because I know how he is just your stereotypical man. Yeah. Doesn't show his emotions.
No emotion.
But I knew something like that would really affect him.
Yeah.
And it was that was a real tough one to swallow. That was when I found that out.
Terrible. Honestly, like I say, to this day, I even say it. I still can't believe it.
Yeah.
Still can't believe it, and you'll never get over something like that. But
No.
like you say, you just have to learn to live with it, don't you?
You always have obviously a really good analogy for grief, because we found that, especially with doing the podcast, men really only tend to open up when it's to do with grief.
Yeah.
And what's the analogy that you always use? I know we have used it on a few podcasts, but it'd be good to just
what's that the one we used with
building
Sam?
around it.
What the one we used with Sam last week?
Yeah,
My partner works in the mental health industry.
Yeah.
And she's an occupational therapist, so basically she's helping people who have been sectioned basically get back out on their feet and get back into normality.
Yeah.
And she was saying that one of the analogies they use, especially when they're dealing with grief, is that grief is, imagine grief's like a button, and then you're that button's inside the box, and you're like a ball inside the box, and every time you hit a corner, you'll pass over that button, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
But as you grow, your box grows, so therefore you don't hit that button as much. But ultimately, that grief is still a part of you. It makes you who you are. Or we've used other ones where it doesn't go away, but ultimately, as your life grows, that event that affected you so much just shrinks, if you
Just
like.
shrinks,
Yeah,
yeah.
You learn to cope with it. But
Of course, yeah.
yeah, there's
Good
loads of
analogy.
different ones.
Yeah,
for,
of course.
But yeah, no, I think like just at this point, like we'd like to send like our love and regards to Connor's family, and especially dedicate this podcast to him because he was such a influential part of the Rumble's family.
He was.
Boxing family.
He was
so.
with us like I say, any event we had, or he was with us. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like whether we went, if it wasn't boxing related, whatever it was, he was there.
Yeah,
He was there, and it is.
it was a tough one.
Yeah, tough.
To round up, we'll talk about the room that we're sat in.
Yeah.
Because it's the first time I've seen it. So it's a joint venture of you and Zoe's.
Yeah. So Zoe in lockdown, she started printing, just a bit of everything really, and she eventually started getting really busy, and so she called herself Up Close and Personalised.
Yeah.
Which you can see on the wall up there.
We'll pan some footage into that.
Definitely.
Yeah, and then I obviously I love boxing, so
Yeah.
I've always wanted to do something involved in boxing.
Yeah.
So we just sat down and thought, well, you know what, we had a bit of wasted space up here, so we built this shop.
Yeah.
And things have been going really, really well. We've got something called a club shop,
Yeah.
which we do vests and tracksuits and
Yeah.
boxing kits for clubs, and that's branched out nationwide, even gone worldwide. We've just
Yeah.
done the St Lucian Commonwealth Games boxing team tracksuits.
Yeah.
We've sent stuff over to Lithuania, Romania. We've got a club in Hartlepool, one in Washington,
Yeah.
not US, but
Yeah.
up north. One of the famous clubs, the most famous club in Britain, Repton Boxing
Yeah.
Club. We're the main stockholder for them. So, yeah, like
Amazing.
really, really pleased with how things are going.
And that's although you might not see this yourself, but that's only credit to the name that you've built.
Yeah.
As you've gone through your career, you've built these relationships with so many different clubs and whatnot. So it was only probably right that they would use you.
Yeah,
So,
no, it's
because-
good. And what they say it's more of a personal touch because they can ring me up, they can talk about boxing, but then they can buy some boxing equipment.
Yeah.
And it's nice because you got a few boxing shops about now.
Yeah.
But like you say, I've built reputation over the years.
Yeah.
I've been in the game I'm only 30, but since a
Yeah.
baby, 27 years. You know what I mean? So met some good people along the way. So it's nice that they're giving a bit back and supporting the business.
Yeah, no, of
So.
course. And it's a lovely setup in here.
Yeah, it's getting there. We're still
plenty of
loads more
equipment.
to add. I want to get a couple of sofas and want to get a table. I want to get a telly fitted, but
Yeah.
it's all in time. So
of
we're
course.
still building, but we're only we opened in January and we're in August now. So
Yeah.
that's 7 months old. So we for what we've done in 7 months is
Yeah.
it's quite incredible, really.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, no, definitely. But we'll. I think we'll round up with some questions. I know I've got a couple off the bat. Do you want me to just go for it?
Yeah, you take control, mate. Yeah.
So I feel like I'm already going to know the answer to this. So this is something we ask every single guest, regardless of who they are, and it's what is a song that means a lot to you and why? I feel like I'm going to know what it is.
that's life.
Yeah, yeah,
Do you know what? I'll be honest. Like my dad's 70 next May, so
never
had me.
think that.
No, he's good for his
You'd
age, but he
never
had me
think that.
quite late.
Yeah.
So on a Sunday morning, my memories was my dad always used to play a bit of Frank Sinatra, bit of swing, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I didn't know, like his favourite song was always That's Life, but I didn't really get the words.
Yeah.
Like that was a song I remembered, but now it's unbelievable because it's so true to life,
Yeah.
the wording of it. And
Yeah.
I just think, I love it. It's my
Yeah.
song, you know what I mean? It's my...
I knew that was going to be
Yeah,
the answer.
That's Life, yeah. Bit of
Because I
Frank.
always see you and your dad singing it. on
Yeah,
Instagram.
no, we sing it. He loves Frank
Belting it
Sinatra,
out.
and I do as well. But I got brought up like I like a bit of Lionel Richie,
Yeah.
a bit of Frank Sinatra because I was brought up in an older generation, if you
yeah,
like. So
of
yeah,
course. Another question we had from one of the viewers was, how do you balance your work life and your personal life and family time?
Yeah, so I'm still like we mentioned earlier on in the podcast. I'm still quite heavily involved in the boxing. Before that's what caused me to suffer with the mental health and come crashing down. I think because I was taking on too much. Like at the time, I had 7 professionals. I had a squad of about 40 amateurs. I had the one-to-one clients. I was doing the shows as well as travelling the country. I remember once, and you boxed on the show, George. The Friday night was the weigh-in. I drove to Sheffield. I had a girl boxing in the national semi-final in Sheffield. On that same day, I had a show. Yeah. She boxed in Sheffield, won. I had to drive all the way back to Sittingbourne for our show. Yeah. Get up at 6 o'clock in the morning, drive all the way back to Sheffield. She won in the final and come all the way back home. Yeah. And that was the extent I was doing. Do you know what I mean? It was quite. I look back on it now and think, what? You know what I mean? What was I doing? Yeah. But I literally run myself into the ground. And my mum told me 6 months in, slow down. Yeah. And I carried it on for about 4 years. And I said, no, I'll be all right. I'll be like you said, I had good days, bad days. Count me money at the end of the week, think, no, I'll be all right. But it ain't no good. So, yeah, in answer to that question, I found it very, very, very hard to do. But I'm not doing it to the extent as I was. So I've got a better work-life balance now. Not perfect, but better than what it was. Yeah, yeah. So.
Yeah, no, I think when you started introducing more like strict schedules for pad work and one-to-ones and things like that, I think that was probably the right thing to do.
The right thing to do. And I'm only doing 2 days a week one-to-ones now, so I do Tuesday and Friday. But it's all day, so it's 6 in the morning till about 8 of an evening. So the long days, but I was doing that 6 days a week before, 5 days a week, whereas I'm only doing 2 now. Yeah. Then I run the shop. So I'm still very, very busy, but I'm doing more. Yeah. Do you know what I mean?
Of course. Last question is, and I think, again, you've mentioned it a few times, so I feel like I'm probably going to know the answer to this one. Would you rather more money or more time?
You asked me that 6 months ago. I probably would have said the money, but most definitely time. Memories. Yeah. I said to Zoe, funny enough, before we come out, the weather's beautiful, isn't it? This weekend's going to be lovely. Rocco's on school holidays, and I said, Zoe, just book something for this weekend. Let's get away. I said, let's just make more memories. Rocco's off school. We've got Reggie. The weather's beautiful. We don't always get it. Let's just get away. Memories is everything to me. You know what I mean? But she's pregnant now, like I've mentioned. But we probably would have. We went to Turkey in June. Yeah. We would have probably been away around about now. Yeah. But she's pregnant and she's got really bad varicose veins. Right. So I don't really want to fly with that, but I want to get away for a few days. Yeah. So definitely time.
Definitely. I think you can relate on that one, can't you? Because yesterday you had a very wholesome day that was probably long overdue. Yeah. With the with Harry's like 2 boys, because you only have Mason half of the time. You've got a different parent with Harry's eldest. So yeah, I think you could probably relate.
Yeah, massively. I mean, don't get me wrong. If he was asking me that question, I'd probably say right now more money.
Yeah. But, listen, you can never have enough money, and money makes the world go round. Of course it does. But like I said earlier on, money comes, money goes. I've had a lot of money. I've had nothing. But ultimately, I know I can always go out there and get money. Whereas the kids, so important. They're so important, and they're special. So definitely more family time, but like you say, money is probably equally as important because it makes the world go round. But it comes and goes. Your kids don't, do they? So memories last forever.
We can, I think we can round up the podcast there. Do you want to just give a shout out to any upcoming fights for the boys?
Yeah, so got a busy schedule really. So we got. We'll start with Brandon Albrechts. He's a lad from Canterbury that I'm training. Yeah. He's 3-0 at the moment with 1 knockout. Very strong and improving. So he's out September the 17th at York Hall. Obviously his 4th fight. And then Martin will be fighting for the Southern Area lightweight title. So a big fight for him on September the 30th, which is a Friday night. And that's at York Hall as well. Oh, wow. And we've got Tyrone King in the pro stable, just awaiting a fight date. And Adam Macker, who's won 3 national titles with me, he's unbeaten. He finds out tomorrow whether he's been picked for the European Games in Italy in September.
He is a real talent.
He's good, Adam. Yeah, very. He's an Albanian, so his dad's Albanian, very strong, good heart.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's a good kid.
Yeah.
Good kid. So
You know, I've been in the gym a few times when he's been training. He's very, very strong.
yeah, he's strong. He is strong, very strong. So yeah, so busy schedule still.
Yeah.
And like I say, still waiting to see what happens with my with England boxing in my licence.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Well, we keep our fingers crossed for you, and you know, we hope that you can get all of that back on track soon, and it just be a thing of the past.
Let's hope so.
I'm very happy to hear you are on the mend.
Yeah, definitely. Don't get me wrong. Listen, like it's not all sunshine and rainbows.
No,
It's,
of course.
you still have your bad days, and you know what I mean. But I know how to handle the bad days now. I perhaps know why I'm feeling it, why I'm thinking it. So it's easier to overcome. Whereas before I didn't know. So
well, we hugely appreciate your honesty. It's never easy coming on and talking about it, especially as men. We don't tend to talk about our feelings too much, but coming onto a platform and giving us your time to talk about those things, we really appreciate.
Lovely.
Is there anyone you want to give a shout out to?
No, just not really. Just everyone that helps me in the gym, everyone that stay loyal. Big thing for loyalty, and just good luck to all my fighters that got the big fights coming up.
Yeah.
And thank you guys for coming down as well.
No,
so
thank
really
you.
appreciate
Thank you
it.
for giving us the time and the space to do it. We appreciate it.
No problem at all.
Cool. We'll round it up there.
Cool.
Lovely.
Lovely.